So a right triangle is a triangle with one right angle. The legs, we talked about that yesterday. What in the formula were our legs the same as, Autumn? It's the two lines that make our right angle. So if you're looking at our triangle here, my thing must not be hooked up. There we go. So these two lines right here make the right angle, correct? Yeah. So those are called my legs. So then let's write leg. And this is also called a leg. In our formula, what was that? Like the A, B, and C, what were they?
A and B.
They were called A. This was called B. So are A and B irreversible?
Yes.
Could B be A and A be B?
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. That's why we call them legs, because they could be irreversible. Okay, but then we also had something that did matter. What was that?
The hypotenuse.
The hypotenuse, which was the side opposite of the right angle. So where's my right angle at?
Right there in the corner.
It's down here in the corner, so let's draw that in. And then the side opposite, so if I look opposite of it, that is my hypotenuse, so let's label this hypotenuse. And in our formula, what was that called?
C.
C. Yep, because in our formula it's C squared. But questions on that? So the longest side of the triangle always has to be what? The hypotenuse, right? It's always the longest side. So if I gave you three numbers like 5, 3, and 6, which one's my hypotenuse? The 6 would have to be my hypotenuse because it's the longest. Does it matter then if 5 is A or B?
No.
No. And does 3 matter if it's A or B?
No.
No. Okay. All right. So we've already actually done the top. We're not going to measure the lengths, but we are going to go down to the real world story problem. So it says, when viewed from the side, the shape of a wooden water ski ramp is a right triangle. Suppose the height of the ramp is 3 feet and the length of the base of the ramp is 4 feet. How long do you think the ramp will be? First of all, has anybody ever gone water skiing?
Oh.
Can you actually water ski?
I could.
I couldn't. It's hard. You like can't stand up. It's hard.
No.
I fell down every time. I never actually got
I did it so many times I got a headache.
a headache. Yeah. Well, if you fall and you hit the water, yeah,
Yeah.
you get a headache. It's hard.
I threw up in the water.
Ugh. All right, moving on. Okay, so if we're water skiing and we have a ramp, it says the height is what? What's the height of my ramp?
3 feet.
3 feet. So which one is that on here?
A.
Okay, so A over here.
Yes.
So A is 3 feet. And then the base is what?
4.
4. So down here, that could equal my B. So what are we missing?
C.
We're missing C. So what's my formula again?
A squared plus B squared equals C.
So if I substitute it in, I have 3 squared plus what?
Oh, it's 7.
4 squared equals
It's 7.
C squared. We don't know.
It's 7.
Okay. What's 3 squared?
9.
3 times 3 is 9. Plus 4 times 4 is 16 equals C squared. So what does 9 plus 16 equal?
Whoa.
9 plus 16 equals
25.
25 equals C squared. So how do I get rid of the squared part?
Divided by.
You don't divide it.
Square root of it.
Take the square root of it. So in other words, what times itself gives you 25?
5.
So what does C equal?
5.
5. So is it 7, Tristan?
No, I understood. Yeah.
Okay, so remember, we can't just add these two numbers to get C. You have to actually do the problem. Okay, so our length would be 5 what?
5. Feet.
Feet.
I was being sarcastic.
Questions?
No.
Okay, moving on. I'm going to go through these examples. I'm not going to go through this up top because this is what we talked about yesterday, the Pythagorean theorem. In example 1, we have this triangle we're talking about. Does it say what we're talking about? Nope, just a triangle. Okay, so what are we missing in this one? We're missing c, so c squared, right? So then what plus what gives me c squared?
A squared plus B squared.
A squared plus b squared, what is a?
Oh yeah. Unknown.
Okay, so I heard somebody say 12, so a could equal 12, right? So 12 squared plus what?
9 squared.
9 squared, because we're going to call that b. 9 squared should equal c squared. What do I do first to solve?
Exponents.
I need to do my exponents. So 12 squared is what?
144. 81.
And then 9 squared is
81.
81, so that gives me c squared. So then when I add 144 plus 81, what do you get?
Yes. Yeah. 200. Whatever.
225. So c squared equals 225, and what do I do to get c by itself?
Square root it.
I take the square root of it.
Oh yeah.
So c equals what?
15 or negative 15.
15, or they say negative 15.
Because
But could a side length be negative 15?
no.
No, we can't have a negative length. So my answer is 15 what?
Inches.
I'm talking about inches, so 15 inches. Why do they say that there's two different answers?
Because they're wrong.
No, they're not wrong, because then they talk about it. But how do they get negative 15?
Absolute value.
No, the absolute value is positive.
It has 2 solutions.
When you square root something, you have two solutions, right?
Yes.
Because positive 15 times positive 15 gives me 225. Negative 15 times negative 15 gives me 225. So when you take the square root of something, we get two different answers, a positive or a negative, right?
Yes.
We talked about this earlier in the year. But when we're talking about lengths of stuff, can it be negative? No, so we're always going to use the positive answer. But it's important to know that when you take the square root of something, technically you get two different answers, but then you have to pick which one makes sense.
Oh yeah. That one makes sense.
Questions on that part?
No.
Okay. And which side, we said that c equaled 15. Which side had to be the longest again?
C.
C had to be the longest. So when we look at our numbers, is C the longest?
Yes.
Yes. So we could assume that our answer is correct. All right. Going on to example 2 unless you have questions. Okay. Example 2. What are we missing in this one?
B.
We're missing B, right? So what's A? 8. So we have 8 squared plus B squared gives me what? 24 squared. And we know that that is the hypotenuse because it's opposite of the right angle, right? Okay. So what would I do first to solve?
No, you put the square.
I need to square it, right? So I know what I'm subtracting. What's 8 squared? 64 plus B squared equals, what's 24 squared?
Oh, 576.
576. Then I would do what? Subtract 64. And what do you get?
512.
512. How do I get B by itself? Square root it. So what do you get when you put into your calculator the square root of 512?
22.6.
What? Everybody know where the square root is on the calculator?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait.
So you have to hit the square root first, and then you type in 512. You get
22.6.
22.627. When we get decimals on this, you're always going to round to the nearest 10.
Wait, it's already
You're going to round to the what?
nearest 10.
Nearest 10. So I look at the 2. Does the 2 tell the 6 to go up or stay the same?
Not valid.
Stay the same. So B is about 22.6. And what would we label it? Meters. Okay, so checking if it's reasonable. What was my hypotenuse? 24. So is 22 and 6/10 smaller than 24? So we could assume that I'm right. Questions?
No. Wait, 1
The next holiday is St. Patrick's Day. All right. You got it. A, B, and C. Stand up when you're done and find the next person who's standing to check your answer with. So you're just going to stand up. Whoever's standing, check your answer with them.
Look at these.
Go. A, B, and C.